I'm Russ Curtis. I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and I'm a counselor educator, and I wanted to talk about school anxiety and how we can help students thrive. First thing is perhaps even for the younger kids, maybe robot versus ragdoll. Robot is when we're really kind of stiff, which happens when our muscles get tight and we're anxious, versus ragdoll where we're very loose. So teaching kids the difference between these two and understanding that, paying attention to the body and learning to relax it. Teaching kids to breathe properly so we can use inhale the smell of cookies and exhale slowly as if we're blowing out dandelion seeds. So you can always go out into the yard to do that and show how that's done. Long, slow exhale as if blowing out the seeds or blowing out candles on a cake. That's another one. Make students aware that it's okay to take deep breaths in class. Not uncommon for us to have this mindset that kids are to be seen and not heard, and that can cause kids to hold their breaths when they're in school. So let's make them aware that it's okay to take a breath. And we can address issues if we feel like there's a sigh because they don't like what we're saying or doing. We can address that, but let's make it okay to breathe. Feeling faces, which is, there's all kind of charts. I'm sure most teachers and counselors have these available. Maybe they're hanging up in the classroom or the office. But just increasing the emotional vocabulary of kids so that they understand, and students, that they understand what they're experiencing and normalize it, that, oh, wow, this exists. I've experienced this. So that's helpful. Also an emotion thermometer. A lot of times you see this for anger, but you can also use it or create your own for anxiety or stress. And helping kids start to self-monitor and self-regulate. Like, wow, this is getting up into the hot zone for stress. What are the skills I know to help bring the temperature down? Now, this is cognitive restructuring. This next piece is unhelpful thoughts versus helpful thoughts. Making students aware that, hey, are you focused on stuff that's unhelpful, scary, anxiety producing, and how might you change that? How might you shift that thought to something that's a little bit more helpful? You can use the same thing for younger kids with red light. What are thoughts that cause you that we need to put a red light, we need to stop? And then what are our green light thoughts and behaviors that actually are helpful and soothing? The other thing is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 that y'all probably know. This is just about helping people get present in the moment instead of worrying about the future, regretting the past. Maybe you just gave back tests and people didn't do well and they're starting to get anxious. So just that the 5 things you can see right there in the moment, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste, just to get people present and in the moment. That also increases IQ points. We know that as we worry about stuff and regret stuff, it eats up our working memory, which is critical in solving problems and so forth, which is needed in school. And then lastly, just mindfulness. So mindfulness gets us out of the tug-of-war with thoughts and allows us just to observe our thoughts and observe our emotions, much like as we would with waves. We have some waves that are really nice and pleasant and some that are really rough and tumultuous. So just getting used to using some types of metaphor to help teach mindfulness, even if it's just for one breath, one cycle of a breath. We ride up the wave and then we exhale down the wave. And there's a great book out that I love now, Mop Rides the Waves by Jamal Yogi and Alan, published in 2020, and it's also on YouTube, so you could show that to students. All right, so again, this was an article we published. I hope you find this helpful and look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.